Hi and welcome to a new video. In today's video I'm going to take a look at Akeeba LoginGuard. Akeeba LoginGuard is a component for Joomla that will add two-factor authentication options to Joomla 3.6 and beyond. Now, as you may know, there are already some existing two-factor authentication options in Joomla by default. There's the YubiKey option and the OTP option, which you can use in combination with Google Authenticator or the Microsoft Authenticator. But all of that is very liberal. It's very optional. And the reason I stumbled upon Akeeba LoginGuard was because I was looking for an authentication option called U2F, Universal Second Factor, which is promoted by Google and a few other companies. They work in combination like a hardware key. That was difficult. They can be combined with YubiKeys, but you can buy them separately. It's a universal standard, so there are a lot of vendors to choose from. That's how I stumbled upon Akeeba LoginGuard. That is only found on GitHub for now. I haven't found it on the website yet. And what this does, it makes two-factor authentication more manageable, and it makes it a bit more visible for the user. We're going to take a tour of how it works. I've already installed the plugin. It's really easy. You just install it like anything else, and when it's installed, you activate it. You're pretty much good to go. I'm already in the screen. You have the option to manage your options. You can see 4 options available. Code by email. When you log in, you'll get a code by email. That's a very popular option. Another one is the Authenticator app. This could be Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator, or the option you prefer. The third is YubiKey, that came standard in Joomla. And the fourth one is security key. Maybe the name isn't that clear, but this is for U2F keys. I already showed how to configure this one in another video. I'm not going to do that again. But what I wanted to explain is that there are 6 options in total, depending on what plugins you configure. YubiKey and U2F key don't require any setup, but there are 2 other options that are called, let me see, authentication code by SMS. That option uses smsapi.com. This is their website. Basically what happens when you try to log in, you get a text on your phone, and you enter that in addition to your password. It's about 30 euros for 500 text messages. That's about a standard price for services like this. It's really easy to set up. I haven't done it, but basically you have to take a username and, well, we'll just take a look. Basically you go to the plugin, you provide your username and an API password that you configure on the site, and you're good to go. You can add that option. You can also change the URL, and the final option is Pushbullet. Pushbullet is a service that pushes notifications to your devices. They have an app so that the notifications push to your iPhone or Android, but they can also push notifications to Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Opera. Yeah, this is an okay option if the users are willing to use that, but I'm not sure if I would have a use for that myself. It would force the user to install a service. To be honest, I've never heard of it. Maybe I'll test it out. Let's go back to the plugin. So basically what will happen if you configure it, you'll be shown the Akeeba LoginGuard screen. This is, if you click this big blue button, this is the setup for the user account you're currently using. You can set up multiple options and choose the default one. You can, this one, if I chose this one, it would send me a code to set it up. The cool thing is that you can rename it. You can call it email option. If I added a key, I could call it U2F. You can combine these options, and like you're using a big service, you'll have multiple options to choose from when you try to log in. Another feature that I liked was, let's exit this, that you have an option to configure the user account. You can open the users and basically configure the option for them, which can be useful. For example, you can set up their code by email for them, or you can pre-configure it with a YubiKey that you send to them. I'm going to edit out a few seconds, so I hope that still makes sense. When you are viewing this video, I'm going to edit out the part where I showed you the email addresses again. That's it for the back end. That's pretty standard, but the thing I mentioned in the beginning is that this option is more visible to the end user, and I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm going to go to my very bare website. There's nothing on it, only a login page. I'm going to log in with a user that is, and the first thing the user sees when he's logged in is the reminder to set up the second step, and they have the same options I had in the back end. They can use multiple options, or they can choose to not show this again. And then when you have it all set up, you won't see the screen again, but they can go to their profile and they could manage their options. You see, there's email, Authenticator app, YubiKey, separate security key. It's very easy for the user to set up the options. They can choose the options they want. And if they need help from the administrator, then you can easily give it to them. Of course, we already had two options in Joomla, but this one is more visual and it adds more options that are easy to use. For example, email a code. You can just set it up for users. You create user accounts and just set it up for them and tell them you also need to add this code. One thing you can do in Akeeba login is you cannot configure the other super users, but that's hardly necessary. If you give them those permissions, I'm sure they'll be able to set it up for themselves. And besides, if you have Akeeba admin tools configured with the standard web application firewall, you can't edit their accounts anyway. So that's it. I just wanted to share this component with you because maybe you haven't heard of it, but this is a feature that will make Joomla a bit more, what's the word, corporate friendly or big website friendly. This gives you more authentication options than just OTP or YubiKey. I'm looking forward to using this tool. Maybe you'll have a use for it as well. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them on in the YouTube channel or on the blog or on Twitter. You know where to find me. That was it for today's video. We'll see each other soon. Maybe I'll find something interesting to discuss soon. Bye.